Hi everybody, this is Corey on Tanglefoot Farm. Here's a quick look at all the chickens that are out of their pens because we need to fix fence. But I'm actually here to talk to you today about our Farmers Friends tunnels. So we have 4 of these, and in the recent windstorm we did have one that got a little bit torn up. But the problem we had mainly was that all the doors on this got torn up. So we're using what folks are calling a scissor door. I actually saw this on the Sunset Market Garden Tour off of the Farmers Friend YouTube channel, and I really like them because when you open up both these doors, you've got access to the whole front of your tunnel, so you can bring your crop rows all the way up to the front, and it's easy to get equipment in and out, and they're really pretty awesome. The problem is in Oklahoma wind, they were belling in and out, and what that does is it fatigues the hinge up at the top, and eventually it breaks and you've got a pole hanging on your plastic, and it just wasn't working, so we had to come up with a solution. Now it's still pretty windy today. You can see the plastic blowing around, but you'll notice that pole there in the center is not really moving, and that's because we came up with a way to lock these little suckers down to the ground, and I can show you on this other tunnel. So this is the tunnel that went airborne. The front part of it, the only part of a tunnel that we don't have that is locked to the ground, and it lifted up, tore up all the plastic, tore the doors up pretty good. So we've just stripped it down to do the repairs, and then we'll put some new plastic on it here next week. But I want to show you what we're doing for the doors. So we originally started these off using some hardware that goes for chain link fence gates, and it kept falling off. So we're using a pipe holder that you get from the plumbing section at Lowe's as hinges, and then you can see that little piece of all thread there is to keep that from working its way forward and falling off of the purlin, which happened when we first started using these. Now today we put in a locking mechanism, and it is simply pipe. So this doors are top rail pipe. This next one is like the next size up for the upright pipe that you would use on chain link. And to unlock this, you just lift this up. It slides on the pipe, and then you move it, and you can see that it normally sits down in this hole. So once you've moved it up, you can lock it on, or just set it on these little hooks that we have, and then you've got your doors open. Now the doors are nice and stable. If they're open, the hooks are holding them so they're not belling out, and if they're closed, now our new locks down here are holding them still so they're not belling out. So I think that we might have solved the problem. Hopefully we've taken the stress off of those hinges, and the darn doors will quit falling apart on us all the time. This is kind of my last ditch effort if it doesn't work. The reluctant farmer says we've got to come up with a better method. Now overall, I really love these Farmers Friend tunnels. They're easy to put up, they're well thought out, and they're actually well designed, but I don't know if you can invent a tunnel that's going to be proof against 70-mile-an-hour winds. Now my recommendation, if you were in Oklahoma or any place that's as windy as Oklahoma is that you lock these little suckers down to the ground. And we did that on the back of this tunnel because usually the winds that cause us problems come in from the northwest. So we've got to get the front locked down, and we're going to do that next week. So what we did is we actually took a pole and buried it in the ground. It's down there about 2.5 feet, and then we ran 2 pieces of all thread through it and cemented it in. So the bow actually sits down in there, and it's locked in with this little bolt here, and then with some Tech screws. But if you wanted to move this tunnel, you could just take the Tech screws and that bolt out, and then your bows will come out. So the bow itself is not cemented to the ground, it's just the pipe that's holding it. Every tunnel we have, except for the front of this one, is set up like that, and we didn't have problems with any of the other tunnels lifting. So I really recommend in Oklahoma or other areas with extreme weather that you go ahead and get these locked to the ground. Some way it will save you a lot of heartache and a lot of extra work. So those are your 2 Caterpillar tunnel tips for the day from the farmer here at Tanglefoot Farm, and I hope y'all have a good one.